Hello everyone, welcome to the Success Journey channel. How many people do you know who have surrendered control of their mind, allowing it to dictate their life instead of mastering it themselves? Take a moment to reflect on that. Every morning, before they even step out of bed, their mind has already decided how the day will unfold. It bombards them with thoughts of doubt, fear, worry, and anxiety. Before they have a chance to act, their mind has already set the tone. The mind is an incredibly powerful force, capable of shaping our reality. But if left unchecked, it will lead us astray. It is like a wild, untamed horse, running in every direction, without focus, without purpose, without control. And just like a wild horse, if you fail to take the reins, it will take you wherever it pleases. But when you learn to master it, when you take control, you can direct it with precision, harnessing its immense power to drive you toward your goals. The difference between those who succeed and those who falter is not always about talent, resources, or circumstances. More often than not, it is about the ability to control the mind, to channel thoughts in a direction that serves rather than sabotages. Because make no mistake, the mind is a battlefield. It is where victories are won and where defeats are suffered. And this battle is fought every single day. Every moment presents a choice. Will you allow your mind to be your greatest ally? Or will you let it become your most relentless enemy? It has the power to lift you to unimaginable heights or to bury you beneath the weight of fear and self-doubt. The difference lies in what you feed it, what you allow to take root, and how you choose to direct your thoughts. Master your mind, and you master your destiny. You've likely heard the old saying, "As you think, so shall you become." It's an ancient truth, yet it remains just as relevant today as it ever was. Your life, every success, every failure, every moment of joy or struggle is a direct reflection of the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind. The question is, what are you feeding your mind? What kind of seeds are you planting in the garden of your consciousness? If you constantly fill your mind with negativity, doubt, and fear, then it should come as no surprise when your reality begins to mirror those very things. A mind consumed by limitations will create a life of limitations. But when you choose to nourish your thoughts with belief, confidence, and hope, something extraordinary happens. Your perspective shifts, your actions follow, and life itself begins to open new doors. Doors you may have never even noticed before. Understand this. Your mind is never idle. Even when you're not consciously thinking, it is working, absorbing, and shaping your reality in the background. It is your inner voice, the quiet force within you that knows your potential, understands your dreams, and holds the blueprint for the person you are meant to become. And in the moments when life tests you, when challenges seem insurmountable, it is that very voice that will determine whether you rise or fall. Master your thoughts, and you master your future. Guard your mind as you would the most precious treasure, because in the end, what you allow to take root will determine the life you grow. I'm not saying you should disregard feedback or shut yourself off from advice. Far from it. There is great wisdom in learning from others, in seeking guidance from those who have walked the path before you. But there is a crucial difference between seeking wisdom and seeking approval. Seeking wisdom means you are open to learning, to adjusting your course when necessary, to refining your approach without compromising who you are. Seeking approval, on the other hand, means you are waiting for permission to be yourself, waiting for validation before taking action on your dreams. And if you spend your life waiting for universal approval, you will be waiting forever. Why do we care so much about what others think? Because we are wired for connection. We long to belong. Deep down, we fear rejection. We worry that if we step too far outside the lines, if we stray from what is expected, we will be cast aside. I know that feeling. I've let myself get caught up in it before. But here's the paradox. The more you twist and shrink yourself to fit into the mold of others' expectations, the more you lose the very thing that makes you valuable. The more you suppress your individuality, the harder it becomes to recognize your own worth. And yet it is precisely that uniqueness, the unfiltered, unapologetic expression of who you truly are, that will attract the right people into your life. The ones who see you, who value you, who respect you, not for who they think you should be, but for who you actually are. So stop waiting. Stop seeking permission. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs you. Not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone will understand you, and that's perfectly fine. It's not your responsibility to mold yourself into something more palatable just to gain acceptance. Your responsibility is to be true to who you are, to pursue your dreams with unwavering determination, and to walk your own path with confidence. The right people, the ones who align with your values, who see your vision, who recognize the fire within you, will find you. And those who don't, they were never meant to be part of your journey. They are merely background noise, distractions, people caught in the current of their own limiting beliefs, reacting mindlessly to the world around them. This is why self-awareness is so powerful. It's the ability to step back and observe your own thoughts rather than being ruled by them. It's about asking yourself, is this thought serving me? Is it pushing me forward, or is it holding me back? Because make no mistake, your thoughts shape your reality. But let me be clear, self-awareness is not about guilt, self-criticism, or punishing yourself for having negative thoughts. We all experience doubt, fear, and moments of insecurity. The key is not to eliminate these thoughts altogether. That's impossible, but to recognize them for what they are, fleeting mental constructs that only hold power if you allow them to. One of the most effective ways to master your mind is through a simple yet transformative practice I call thought replacement. Instead of fighting negative thoughts, because what happens when you fight something? You give it more power. Simply replace them. When your mind whispers, "I'm not good enough," consciously replace it with, "I am capable, I am strong, I am worthy." When doubt creeps in saying, "I can't do this," counter it with, "I can handle this. I've overcome challenges before, and I will overcome this too." Your mind is always listening. Train it to speak a language of possibility, of resilience, of unwavering belief. Because once you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your life. Your mind is only capable of holding one thought at a time. It's like a glass of water. If the water is murky and filled with impurities, you don't cleanse it by fixating on the dirt. You cleanse it by continuously pouring in fresh, clean water until the impurities are washed away. The same principle applies to your mind. You don't rid yourself of negativity by obsessing over it. You replace it by pouring in thoughts of strength, confidence, and possibility. The more empowering thoughts you introduce, the less space there is for doubt, fear, and limitation. And here's something even more powerful. Your mind believes whatever you consistently tell it. If you keep repeating to yourself, "I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not capable," your mind will accept those words as truth and shape your reality accordingly. But if you change the narrative, if you start feeding your mind with affirmations of your strength, resilience, and potential, your mind will begin to believe that instead. This is why affirmations are so incredibly transformative. They are not just empty words. They are declarations of the reality you are choosing to create. So ask yourself, what are you affirming every day? Are you affirming your power, your ability to succeed, your capacity for greatness? Or are you reinforcing your doubts, your fears, and your perceived limitations? Because whether you realize it or not, every thought, every word, every belief you hold is shaping your future. Choose wisely. Speak words that empower you. Think thoughts that elevate you. And tell yourself a story that moves you closer to the life you were meant to live. One of the greatest challenges we face in mastering our mind is fear. Fear is one of the most intense and overwhelming emotions we experience, and if we're not careful, it can completely take over our thoughts. The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of the unknown. These invisible chains can hold us back, keeping us trapped in hesitation and doubt, preventing us from moving forward. But here's something you must understand. Fear exists only in your mind. It is not reality. It is a mental construct, a story your mind tells you. And because it is a creation of your mind, you have the power to control it. So when fear arises, don't run from it. Don't suppress it. Instead, face it head on. Acknowledge its presence. And then ask yourself, is this fear real, or is it just a thought? More often than not, fear is nothing more than a mental projection, a vision of what might happen, not what is happening. It's an illusion, a worst-case scenario your mind fabricates. And because it is just a thought, you have the power to shift it, to reframe it, to see it from a new perspective. Here's something I've learned. The most effective way to conquer fear is through action. Fear thrives in stillness. The longer you sit with it, the more power it gains over you. But the moment you take action, even the smallest step forward, you weaken fear's grip. You start to see it for what it truly is: a shadow, a mirage that vanishes the moment you step into it. And the more action you take, the less control fear has over you. Momentum builds courage. Every step you take is proof that fear is not the immovable force you once believed it to be. Fear fades in the presence of movement, and what remains is your strength, your resilience, and your ability to create the life you truly want. Another essential part of mastering your mind is focus. Whatever you focus on, you amplify. If you focus on problems, they will multiply before your eyes. If you focus on solutions, your mind will begin to uncover possibilities you never saw before. If you focus on scarcity, lack will become your reality. But if you focus on abundance, you will start to recognize the wealth of opportunities, resources, and possibilities that have been around you all along. Your mind is like a magnifying glass. Whatever you direct it toward, it expands. So ask yourself, where is my focus? Are you constantly dwelling on what's wrong, or are you directing your energy toward what's possible? Are you consumed by obstacles, or are you fixated on ways to overcome them? The truth is, you hold the power to direct your focus. You get to decide what occupies your mental space. And let me tell you, your attention is one of the most valuable assets you possess. Don't waste it on negativity. Don't squander it on distractions. Don't let it be hijacked by doubts and fears that pull you away from your vision. Be intentional. Choose to focus on what empowers you, what strengthens you, what moves you forward. But here's something even more important. Focus isn't just about what you think, it's about how long you sustain that thought. You can have the most powerful, positive idea in the world, but if it only flashes through your mind for a moment before you slip back into old patterns of doubt, it won't change your life. Your thoughts need consistency. You must train your mind to hold its focus, to resist the pull of distractions, to stay locked in on your vision even when the world around you tries to shake it. Sustained focus is the key to transformation. When you learn to control your focus, you gain control over your reality. I know what you might be thinking. That all sounds great, but it's easier said than done. And you're absolutely right. It is easier said than done. But here's the good news. Like any skill, mastering your mind is something you can get better at with practice. It won't happen overnight, but with patience, persistence, and conscious effort, you'll begin to see real change. And the more you improve, the more control you'll have, not just over your thoughts, but over your entire life. Think of your mind as a garden. A beautiful garden doesn't just appear by itself. It requires care, attention, and effort. If you neglect it, weeds will take over. Those weeds, self-doubt, fear, negativity, will choke out the positive things you want to grow. But if you tend to it daily, if you remove the weeds, if you nurture the thoughts that empower you, your mind will flourish. And when your mind flourishes, your life flourishes. Your relationships become stronger. Your career takes off. Your confidence soars. Your entire experience of life shifts. But here's the thing. You are the gardener. No one else can tend to your mind for you. No one else can pull the weeds or plant the seeds of success. That responsibility belongs to you. And that takes work. It takes discipline. It takes deliberate effort every single day. But I promise you, the rewards are worth it. So where do you start? What's the first step in taking control of your mind? It begins with a decision. You have to decide that from this moment forward, you are in charge, that your mind will no longer run on autopilot, that you will no longer be a passive observer in your own life. You have to commit to doing the work, because transforming your mind isn't something that just happens, it's something you create. And once you've made that decision, follow it up with action. Start becoming aware of your thoughts. Start paying attention to the story you tell yourself every day. Start replacing negative thoughts with empowering ones. Start focusing on where you want to go, not where you're afraid of ending up. And most importantly, don't give up. There will be challenges. There will be moments where you fall back into old patterns. But if you keep going, if you keep showing up for yourself every day, you will see the results. Your life will change, and it all starts with the choice you make right now. Years ago, I met a man who was struggling in his business. He was one of the hardest workers I had ever seen. He put in the hours, he put in the effort, he did everything he thought he was supposed to do. And yet, no matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't seem to get ahead. He was stuck in a cycle of frustration, constantly asking himself, why isn't this working? Why am I not seeing results? So we sat down to talk. And as I listened, it became clear that his problem wasn't his work ethic. It wasn't a lack of skill, intelligence, or ambition. The real problem was his mindset. His focus was entirely on what wasn't working, on the difficulties, the setbacks, the obstacles. He had trained his mind, without even realizing it, to look for problems instead of possibilities. And because that was his focus, that's exactly what kept showing up in his life. I looked him in the eye and said, you have to change your focus. You have to start focusing on what you want, not on what you don't want. At first, it was difficult for him. Years of conditioned thinking had wired his brain to expect struggle, to anticipate failure. Shifting his mindset felt unnatural, even impossible at times. But I encouraged him to stick with it, to consciously redirect his focus every single day, to stop asking, what if this goes wrong? And start asking, what if this goes right? To stop dwelling on his past failures and start visualizing his future successes. And something incredible happened. Slowly but surely, he rewired his thinking. He started to see opportunities where before he had only seen dead ends. His confidence grew, his decision-making improved, and before long, his business started to grow. Not because he suddenly worked harder, but because he worked smarter. Because when you change the way you think, you change the way you act. And when you change the way you act, you change the results you get. Your focus determines your reality. If you want different results, start by changing what you focus on. Here's the truth. When you control your mind, you control your destiny. Your thoughts are the architects of your life. Every belief you hold, every story you tell yourself, every idea you allow to take root in your mind, it all shapes the reality you experience. But here's the catch. No one else can do this for you. No one else can step into your mind and rearrange your thoughts. You have to be the one to take control. And I want you to know something important. It's never too late to start. It doesn't matter if you've spent years, maybe even decades, letting your thoughts run on autopilot. It doesn't matter how deeply negativity has embedded itself in your consciousness. You can start today, right now. You can make the decision to take back control. You can begin planting new seeds, new beliefs, new perspectives, new possibilities. You can choose to let go of old patterns and create a new mental blueprint, one that leads you toward the life you truly want. Remember this, you are the master of your mind, not the other way around. Your mind is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it must be used with intention. Left unchecked, it will run in whatever direction it's been conditioned to go. But when you step in and become the driver, when you consciously direct your thoughts instead of letting them control you, everything changes. And when that happens, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Because when you control your mind, you don't just change your thoughts, you change your life. So now, the choice is in your hands. Will you take charge of your mind, or will you let it be controlled by old habits and limiting beliefs? Will you be the master of your thoughts, or will you allow them to run on autopilot, shaping your reality without your permission? Remember this, your mind is the most powerful tool you have. If you learn to direct it, to shape it with intention, it will become your greatest ally on the journey to success. But if you neglect it, if you allow negativity, doubt, and fear to take root, it will become your greatest obstacle. The good news is, you don't have to wait for the perfect moment to start. You can begin right now. Pay attention to your thoughts. Challenge the ones that hold you back. Replace them with beliefs that empower you. Focus on solutions instead of problems. Take action, even when fear tries to stop you. Because every small shift in your mindset creates a ripple effect that transforms your life. And now, I want to hear from you. What's one limiting belief you're going to replace with a positive, empowering thought today? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to know your answer. If this message resonated with you, make sure to hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Success Journey so you never miss a powerful lesson on mindset, motivation, and personal growth. Let's take this journey together. Your success starts with your mind. So train it, strengthen it, and watch your life transform.